It's your travel agent, David, and today we're going to be checking out the Jameson Distillery here in Dublin. Now, you're probably going to be surprised at what you find, but let's get into it. They do offer free delivery on online purchases. So right over there, they have a QR code you can scan. And you can order everything online and have it sent right to your house. So for 120 euros, you can get the black label or black barrel. And you can fill it yourself. And then what you do is you come out here with your bottle, and then you fill it up right here. So this particular barrel is cask number 235033, and it's 60.1%. So that way you can put your own in there, so you're like your own little distiller. How cool is that? So if you fill your own bottle, you get to fill out your label. So you put in your cask number, cask strength, the distillery, bottled by, and the date, and then you put the little label over it to seal it. That's pretty cool. It says, congratulations, you're about to put the finishing touches on your very own bottle of Jameson Black Barrel Cask Strength, exclusively available to visitors of our distilleries. You won't find this particular premium cask strength Irish whiskey anywhere else in the world. Now with the addition of your signature and label, this true whiskey one-off brought strength from our distillery warehouse becomes not just exclusive, but unique and all the more enjoyable for it. So for 120 euros, you can have your own bottle. If you didn't buy your tickets online, just come straight in and you can get your tickets right there. Once you get your tickets, then you're going to go around the corner and up the stairs at your designated time so that you can go get a drink while you wait for your tour to start. Smell good?
Sure.
Alright, let's see how you do here. So she has a little stage fright from last time she had a shot of Jameson. But in her defense now, it's probably about half of what she had the first time. Alright, let's go. Come on. Here we go.
Now, does anybody in the group have sensitivity to flashing lights? Any photosensitivity at all? No? Right? I won't spoil anything for yourself. You have your phone on you, just make sure that's on silent with vibrators and interrupt the experience. If you want to take photos, no problem. Take as many photos, short videos as you like. So let's head on in and do the rest of the talking inside. Got to follow me, guys?
It's been like 10 minutes.
See you in a little bit.
I'll see you guys. Enjoy yourself.
Need to know about Jameson, you're going to find either inside the bottle or on the label. First thing here is our name, named after our founding father, John Jameson. Underneath his name is the family crest, which you can also see here, and with that's the family motto, Sine Metu. Now this is a Latin phrase. It means without fear or fearless. And this is a phrase that very much defines John's life, and you could say has defined our whiskey ever since. Whiskey ever. Nope, that didn't work. Hang on a second.
Bibbidi boppity.
Done. Okay, forget that happened. Reset. Let's define our whiskey ever since. There we go. Now, there are many characters in the story of Jameson, but we only have one founding father. John Jameson came from Scotland, but we don't really like to talk about that. And he set up shop right here in Smithfield in 1780. Now at this time, Dublin was booming. The population was growing rapidly. In fact, economically, Dublin was the second largest city in the UK and Ireland behind only London. Over 100 distilleries and breweries had popped up across the city, but many of these in time would fade away. Little did anybody realise that an institution that would last for over 2 centuries had just been established here on the city's north side, John Jameson's distillery, of course, on Bow Street. And here he is, the man himself, a handsome-looking devil, I think you'll agree, and his lovely wife, Margaret Hay. Now, these two shared a taste for adventure, and with innovation and hard work, they grew the distillery and they grew their family. They would have 16 children in all. Yes, Margaret.
Competing with Guinness.
Yes, Margaret is the real hero here. Eventually, their son, John Jameson II, would take over as master distiller. He would continue to grow the distillery, building upon his father's legacy of innovation, hard work, and unmatched quality. By 1820, the distillery would look like this, taking up 5 acres of land right here in Smithfield in Dublin city centre. Between 1880 and 1905, that's when the distillery here was at its peak and really firing on all cylinders. Now, while John Jameson's name is on the label, the legacy of this whiskey is very much shared. Hidden on every single bottle of Jameson, you will find the barrel men. The figures that look like this with barrels on their back, they're on the base and on the neck as well, and they represent the hard workers, both past and present, who built this whiskey from the ground up. Now, by the early 1880s, Bow Street was like a city within the city of Dublin itself. In fact, it was so self-sufficient that on their books they had employed highly skilled craftsmen, such as carpenters, blacksmiths, millwrights, painters, firefighters, coopers, ostlers. What's an ostler, you may wonder? Well, they're the ones that cared for the horses. Here's a photo of some of them now, all the lads. Jameson had a reputation of being a great employer. It was said that if you had a job here, then you had a job for life. At its peak, it employed 300 people, supporting hundreds of families across the city. And by the late 1880s, the distillery here was producing 1 million gallons, or 6.5 million bottles of whiskey a year. Yes, which was an awful lot back then. That is perhaps more of a Saturday night these days. And a slow one at that. Right, so you can see there throughout Jameson is being distributed all over the world. More and more people are enjoying the triple distilled smoothness and unparalleled quality. But these good times would not keep on rolling. Time and history, in the shape of political and military turmoil, intervened. The world broke out in war, of course, not once but twice, making trade almost impossible. And here at home, we would have our own conflict. Because of the distillery's location here in the city centre, it became a fortress during the 1916 Easter Rising, when Irish rebels rose up against British rule. But despite these tough times, Jameson's generosity would prevail. Because during this period, due to martial law, employees could not come to work. They couldn't set foot in the premises. But according to our records, each and every employee was paid in full for the 2 weeks of that lockout. Just as things were looking up again, though, there would be a trade war with Britain. They'd impose very strict trade tariffs on us after we became independent, and the effects of prohibition in the United States would very much be felt here as well. In fact, some bootleggers in the US would even label their moonshine as Irish whiskey so that they could charge more for it. No chancers. This would damage our reputation, and between that and all of the other interruptions to progress, all of this meant that by the 1960s, the entire Irish whiskey industry was on its knees. However, calling upon the spirit of John Jameson and the family motto, Sine Metu, without fear, the guardians of the whiskey bearing his name knew that it was now time to sink or swim, and other distilleries realized the same. So in 1966, putting aside generations of rivalry, John Jameson and Son, John Powers and Son, and the Cork Distillery Company, the only 3 distilleries left in the Republic of Ireland, merged to form the Irish Distillers Group, which today is known as Irish Distillers Limited. And while the spirit of Jameson will always be here in Bow Street, our heart now beats in Middleton in County Cork, where we distill and mature our whiskey for an again growing global demand. And Middleton is the perfect place to make the finest quality Irish whiskey. Our whiskey making is steeped in tradition and craft. But our whiskey masters in Middleton, like John Jameson himself, innovative thinkers, are continually coming up with new ingredients and new techniques to keep up with the ever-evolving taste of today's whiskey drinkers, like yourselves and myself as well. But ultimately, this is a people story. It is about the barrelmen. It is about the makers, the masters, the shakers, even the tour guides. All of us standing on a legacy which is 245 years in the making. And it is about you, the whiskey drinkers, enjoying Jameson across the world every single day. You could say that we are all the barrelmen. one, so no big surprises there. Let's keep going. Take a sip of your water there, folks. Perfect. And we're going to move on to the black barrel, and the black barrel is on the right. Okay. Lovely. So, let's go ahead and bring this one to the nose. All right, see what impression we get first of all.
Closer to Scotch.
Closer to Scotch, you feel? Yeah. Yeah, this one is matured in, so this is first of all a blend of the grain and the pot still, but also a third kind of whiskey. So they make a small batch whiskey just for the black barrel. So 3 kinds of spirits here, and it's been matured in some sherry butts, predominantly bourbon barrels, and a lot of those bourbon barrels are twice charred. So all bourbon barrels are charred once before the bourbon ever goes in. Most when they come here then will use them as they are, but some will get pulled aside and they get re-charred, which means they're sort of burnt on the inside, blackening the wood more. That's why we call it black barrel. What that also does, opens up the wood, lets out more of the natural flavors like vanilla, and that brings bigger, sweeter notes. So with this one, you might notice sort of butterscotch, toffee, but that charred wood is very much there as well. Okay, go ahead.
How long do you use the barrels?
So we use the barrels, we use them up to 3 times, or a max of about 30 years. Yeah. All right, go ahead then, guys, and take a taste and enjoy.
Is that similar to what they do with winemaking with the barrels?
So for winemaking, well, for the sherry and for a lot of winemaking, they sort of toast the inside, so it's kind of a lighter process. For the when you are ready, another sip of water, and we're going to move on to the distillery edition, which of course is on the left. Lovely. All right, now this one, we launched in 2017 to celebrate a refurb of the building here. So they made it a distillery exclusive. This one you can only get here at the distillery, and so you may not have tried this one before. Let's bring it to the nose and take a smell. Yeah, it's different, right? It's very different to the last one. It's a little bit lighter on the nose, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bit more, not for you, yeah. It's a bit more floral or perfumey or fruity, because this one has a much bigger influence from our sherry butts. So here they've used both, but only a small amount of the bourbon and a lot more of the sherry. So you get this sort of fruitiness. I find nosing this almost like nosing a white wine, because it's fruity, but there's an oakiness to it and almost a butteriness as well. It's like a Chardonnay or something on delicious. It's not a Chardonnay when you drink it, so don't be fooled. Go ahead, guys, and take your taste and enjoy. Staunch it. Alright. Now, what do we think on the palate of this one? Yeah, very different. Yeah, this one goes.
Jameson whiskey. We also blend it together with grain whiskey and bourbon barrels and sherry casks. But this is possible whiskey on its own, triple distilled but unblended, and sitting in this bourbon barrel since the year 2005. So yeah, it's 20 years it's been in here. So it'll just give you an idea that something so raw and unblended will still be quite smooth and tasty. So we're gonna grab this guy here called the Blender's Dog. That's what it's nicknamed, because as you can see, it's on a leash and it's gonna fetch us the whiskey as well. So there you go. Now, what we're gonna do, easy does it, we're gonna just lay it down gently into the barrel. You should get a nice satisfying noise in a second. Yeah. Yeah. That means you've got the whiskey. Just like to strain out the pot. You see how like burnt the staves of the barrel are there? That's why we just like to strain it out as much as we can. Get old as well. Alright. We might have enough here. But realistically, guys, what I'll do is I'll pour you out some measurements. Yeah, we're doing okay for time. Now is a good time to take some pictures and all that as well. If you want to take some pictures in front of the wings and stuff like that while I pour, and I'll explain how it goes. I'll explain more in just a minute. And then as it goes down, you do have to remember this is in a bourbon barrel, so it does have a nice kind of vanilla sweet finish to it.
It's so my face when he said.
So, what did you think about the visit here?
It's different. It's cool.
Yeah, I know Jameson's not your favorite. Yeah, don't worry. It literally puts hair on her chest. It's crazy.
And I burnt it all like that.
Well, if you have any questions about the Jameson tour here in Dublin, let me know. Until next time, I'll see you next trip.